not everyone is cut out to work in hospitality. That they don't feel that those additional touches. Like the more common something gets, the more uncommon you need to become.
Passion is paramount in almost any industry, specifically the hospitality industry, because you're just dealing with people so much. That personal communication with dealing with people and trying to provide them an experience that people really, they believe in it, they buy into that passion, that experience, that if you are super excited about something, it's like palpable. People grab onto that and they want to be a part of it. They appreciate the passion that you have for it, which just heightens their own experience. It's learning what are you trying to offer and how to make that better, and that's what I'm trying to help give other people, is try to help them see it from another perspective, because a lot of times you get tunnel vision in your own job. So I'm able to help bring a different perspective, an outside perspective, to help you re-engage and kind of reignite that fire and passion behind why you're doing what you're doing, and then make sure that you're really delivering on that how you want to. People's perception is their reality. So you have to be understanding what is the value perception that you want people to have for your brand experience. What are you trying to sell to people? And that is something that they're going to look at and they're going to say, is this valuable to me? Yes, no, and what is it worth? Is a restaurant more expensive or too expensive? And that's different for everyone. So you have to try to manage that expectation and then over deliver on what you're trying to offer. My kind of core philosophy falls in a few different things. It's managing expectations and over delivering. I think that is so essential for any company, any brand, anything that you're trying to do, is understanding what is your target market you want and manage what they're expecting from you so you can deliver on those expectations. You need to understand yourself first. You need to understand your product. You need to understand what you are delivering. And then you need to also understand where's your target market, where do they live, where do they spend money, what do they do with their time, where do they put their attention. Then you need to take your product and you need to be able to put it in the eyes and the face and the ears and in the attention sphere of your target market, and make sure that they fully understand what you're offering and why your value proposition should be or could be important to them. And then once you have those people bought in, then you do that one little thing that they weren't quite expecting, which they're going to like. What is the one thing that your company does different that gives you a competitive advantage? Something that everyone is selling hotel rooms. Why should I go to your hotel? What makes you different? What is the difference in your value proposition that you're gonna make sure that I understand, and then take it one step further to really capture me as a consumer? Think about the little things that you guys can do that maybe worked really well in the past but have kind of been forgotten because they're not as efficient or they're not as time effective. So your time giving to someone else is a massive piece of value, because someone else's time is extremely valuable. So if you start giving away your time, people will appreciate that. They know 7,000 marketing messages a day. You took a little bit of your time to write out a card and send it to them. So being genuine, being authentic is extremely, extremely important in selling things. Building relationships with people is so important in sales. There is no thing that is greater or more important than building an authentic relationship with your end consumer. Kind of one of my personal mantras and things I really believe in is that ideas are nothing, execution's the game. We can all sit in a room and think about 1,000 ideas today, tomorrow, and everything, but whoever takes those ideas and executes them is gonna win. People who sit in a room and just think of ideas, we all do that over drinks every night. It's the people who take them and turn them into a reality and find a market that's willing to match with them who's going to be successful. Brand experience innovation is probably the number one thing that I want companies to understand and want them to embrace. If I'm selling anything, I'm selling companies the opportunity to understand what it takes to innovate their brand experience and why they need to be open for disruption. There's never a time in your company where you're able to be like, we nailed it. We're doing it. Everything is going 100% perfect. There's always room for improvement because you're always open for disruption. There's always someone who's going to be trying to beat you, who's going to be trying to do it better, who might be doing it better right now and just hasn't quite got to you yet. So as soon as you become complacent and, oh, we're doing everything great, there's no room for error here, you are going to be sadly mistaken. Innovation back in the day used to be able to happen at a much, much slower pace because we weren't able to communicate immediately. Everyone has access to immediate information they want for nothing. Siri will tell you anything you want to know almost immediately. So that opens up your opportunity for disruption every single day, all day. Everyone can immediately know what you're doing and do it better. So what are you doing to plan? If someone decides to do this, what am I going to do to combat that? What am I going to do to keep my market share or expand my market to a different market to make sure that my business is sustainable? Every speaking engagement, I have a goal. I mean, it's to help people be better at what they do, see something from a different perspective, try something different, fail faster, come up with an idea, try it. If it doesn't work, then okay, move on. Don't, cry over it. It's gonna happen. Like, you cannot be paralyzed by perfection. My goal is to watch people, when they hear something I say, I want to see them go off in their own little head, and all of a sudden they start tackling a problem in their own brain, thinking about how they might be able to face this situation or face this challenge that they're having in a different way, in a slightly different mentality or a slightly different effort to try to achieve the goal, but do it in a more productive way. So it's so important to fail fast. If you're not too comfortable with, oh, well, that might not work, who cares? Try it in a small thing, see if it works, and then scale if it doesn't. If it doesn't, move on to the next thing. But you can't get stuck in this, oh, well, this is how we just done it. We're gonna just pound it into the ground until it's completely dead. So you're dying a slow death. And that's very difficult to see sometimes. That creates angst, it creates very bad environments for sales. And then as sales start to dip slowly, you don't quite get that super sense of action or sense of urgency that we have to make change right now, because it's like, oh, we're just down this quarter. Oh, and then we're down this quarter. And then it's just slowly every quarter. And then by the time you realize it's 2.5 years later and you're down 30%, and you're like, oh man. And then you start cutting costs and you start doing all these measures instead of, you should have tried continuously be improving. If you're not innovating, you're dying. So whatever you're doing, I want all of you to go home, write down 3 new ways to do the number one thing that you do to make money, and write down 3 ways that you're going to try to do it differently in the next 6 weeks. I guarantee you, you will find success and you will find failure. I hope you all find all 3 success. Likely, not very much. But you found a way that it didn't work, so you're going to move on to the next thing. So take risks, try new things, try something you've never tried before, and then once those things are finished, write down 3 more. How can we maybe try to do this a little bit different? Well, you have to start somewhere. Take massive action.